Is it possible to know the past, present, and future with perfect accuracy? The idea of transcending the confines of time has fascinated humans across all cultures. Knowing what the future may hold is a major reason why people visit astrologers and psychics, and it has been as far back as history records. Today, computer software allows astrologers the scientific precision to point to the likelihood of events happening down to the day, which is a complex process of logic, but to make accurate predictions requires much more than just a string of data to decode. So what else does it take to accurately predict the future? It takes the intelligence of Venus, and I don't mean a goddess. I mean the force of Venus that is present in each and every person. In this presentation, I will discuss exactly what about the Venus force in our consciousness allows a person glimpses into the distant past as well as into the future, and how you will be able to advance your own ability to know things beyond the limits of time. Prophets are people who claim access to hidden knowledge beyond the reaches of the majority of the population. The difference with astrologers and psychics is that they make predictions about mundane events for individuals who approach them for counsel. Prophets, on the other hand, make predictions with a much larger scope in mind, which have ramifications for large numbers of people. There are many prophets mentioned in the Bible and throughout ancient literature who predict the fall of civilizations, benevolent or ruthless tyrants ascending to power, natural and man-made environmental disasters, and the arrival of divine beings to lift up or curse humanity. Most prophets claim direct communication with divine beings who transmit the information directly into their consciousness, to the bewilderment and oftentimes ridicule of their contemporaries. The high cost of being a prophet is known as the curse of Cassandra, which means that the price of knowing the future is that no one believes you, and will cause the person to be outcasted from their place in society. Before and during the Trojan War, Cassandra predicted the Greeks would sack Troy using a wooden horse, as well as the death of King Agamemnon, and many more specifics set to befall the Trojans. In one telling of the narrative, she even tried destroying the horse herself with a torch and axe, but was stopped. She was consistently ridiculed for her predictions, which of course all came true. In the ancient Greek and Roman times, there were the Sibyls or the oracles, high priestesses whose counsel was sought for predictions about war strategy and the outcomes of armed conflicts. Elaborate rituals were performed in caves and subterranean locations, and oracles' utterances in ecstatic states were treated as sacred and coming directly from the gods. There were as many as 10 Sibyls throughout the ancient Near East in varying towns, and the Sibylline books is a rough and scattered collection of their prophecies that still exists today, although many of the predictions were lost, destroyed, or deliberately hidden. The Sibylline prophecies are famous for predicting the coming of Christ, as well as predicting apocalyptic tribulations led by the Antichrist. Some consider these prophecies the template for the Book of Revelation. The Igbo people of Nigeria, who were colonized by the British during the turn of the 20th century, are another example of a rich tradition of consulting oracles. Their oracles also lived outside of town in secluded locations, such as caves or wooded sanctuaries. To this day, practitioners of the derivative religions from the West African Yoruba people, such as the religions Candomblé, Vodun, and Santeria, are mounted by spirits during rituals, and the spirits are speaking directly through the people, giving answers to questions asked to them before and during the ritual. The Mayans of the Yucatan Peninsula consulted their oracles, the Chilanis, who were considered mouthpieces of the gods, and supposedly predicted the coming of the Spaniards and the diseases that would wipe out the native population. The universal commonality is that the priestesses and priests are channeling unseen entities who have knowledge and foresight beyond human beings. What makes these holy people qualified to receive this information and not others? What about being a holy person gives the ability to channel foreknowledge of the future and enter into contact with divine forces? We can answer this question by looking towards the Vedic tradition of ancient India, starting with the mythological and etymological roots of the planet Venus. The luminary in the sky, which we call Venus, is called Shukra in Sanskrit, which loosely means the life force, And a strong Venus gives a person a strong vitality in general and the ability to physically recuperate quickly when the body is taxed or worn down. Shukra is the son of the great sage Brigu, one of the Saptarishis, the deities said to watch over the spiritual progress of Earth and reside within, or are, the 7 stars of the Great Dipper constellation. Shukra's mother was Kavyamata or Kavi. So as the son of Brigu and Kavyamata, Shukra inherited the abilities of his father Brigu, which gave the ability for highly developed spiritual wisdom, and the abilities of his mother Kavyamata, the ability of the intelligence called Kavya, which the name itself reveals. So the planet Shukra or Venus gives the ability for spiritual wisdom and the intelligence of Kavya. Let's investigate further into what this word Kavya means and what the intelligence actually is. First off, Kavya is an umbrella term for the literary tradition of the most recent period of ancient Indian writing. Wikipedia tells us, quote, "This literary style, which includes both poetry and prose, is characterized by abundant usage of figures of speech such as metaphors, similes, and hyperbole to create its characteristic emotional effects. The result is a short lyrical work, court epic, narrative, or dramatic work." Some of the most famous Vedic texts are in the Kavya tradition, including the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, and the Puranas. And this style of writing can be compared to the epic poems of ancient Greece and Rome. Kavya writing is an enchanting fusion of sound and sense, a charmingness in composition, with an emphasis on the unique relationship between the word and meaning. Kavya is that which touches the inmost chords of the human mind and diffuses itself into the crevices of the heart, working up a lasting sense of delight. It is an expression in which the beautiful form and melodious language of the best thoughts and noblest emotions, which is the spectacle of life, awakening the finest souls. Some other definitions of Kavya are possessed of the qualities of a sage or poet, prophetic, inspired, poetical, and a female fiend. This last description of a female fiend shows us the connection between Kavya and prophetic utterances made by priestesses in ecstatic unconscious states transmitting outside information. So Venus, the planet, gives the intelligence of Kavya the ability to eloquently speak in poetical language, to express profound meanings which dances in between words and sounds, which touches the heart and soul in a delightful way. Kavya abilities go beyond understanding what the words mean in the logical sense, and they touch the heart. But why specifically the heart? Each zodiac sign rules over a portion of the chakras in our body. Each chakra has a male portion and a female portion. There are erroneous explanations of which sign rules over which chakra, but all we need to do is follow the order of the signs to arrive at the correct understanding. The male sign Leo, ruled by the sun, and the female sign Cancer, ruled by the moon, both rule the third eye chakra. The male sign Gemini and the female sign Virgo, the two signs ruled by Mercury, rule over the throat chakra. The male sign Libra and the female sign Taurus, the two signs ruled by Venus, rule over the heart chakra. The male sign Aries and the female sign Scorpio, the two signs ruled by Mars, rule over the solar plexus. The male sign Sagittarius and the female sign Pisces, the two signs ruled by Jupiter, rule the sacral chakra. And the male sign Aquarius and the female sign Capricorn, the two signs ruled by Saturn, rule the root chakra. The crown chakra, called the seventh chakra at the top of the head, is a higher frequency beyond the rulership of the zodiac signs. Venus's two signs thus have rulership over our heart chakra. The heart chakra is the direct connection we have with divine energy, which enables us to experience the feeling of love, which is the energy permeating all existence, the energy of God itself. Since God is the sensation of quote-unquote love, but not in the mundane sense, but in the subtlest vibration of the world, the Om sound that weaves all of reality together. In order to receive divine energy into oneself, the heart chakra needs to be open for the energy to flow into it. Since Venus's sign rules the heart chakra, it is the planet that facilitates and strengthens the ability to know the future and give prophecy. Keep in mind, an open heart chakra allows both higher and lower dimensional beings the ability to transmit information into the person. This is why the practice of channeling can be very dangerous without adequate spiritual training, experience, and strong abilities of energetic discernment. Saints through the ages in all religious and spiritual traditions have been able to predict future events because their heart is so deeply in sync and harmonized with divine energy. Many prophets are shocked by their ability and feel the curse of Cassandra for being misunderstood when predicting disastrous events to come, as a warning for those who have fallen off the path of harmonizing their life and their vital energy according to divine law. Venus is a feminine planet ruled by the water element. Feminine planets develop our internal world, and the water element rules over our emotions and intuitive sense. So developing the heart chakra is a way to develop your inner intuitive knowing. The more advanced one's intuition, the more harmonized they become with divine energy, and the more able they can tap into the fountain of information in higher dimensions of reality, and this includes the ability to perceive events from the distant past, such as past lives, as well as events that have a high probability of happening in the future. Astrologers are able to read the raw data of a chart, but without a heightened intuition via their heart chakra being open, they won't have the key ingredient that allows them to transmit information to their client that the client is meant to hear during the reading. Jupiter is important for astrology because Jupiter is the guru and counselor that has gained wisdom from extensive knowledge of spirituality. But a strong Venus is also very important for an astrologer for accessing divine knowledge through the intuition that can be transmitted to the client. The priestesses of ancient time were so highly respected and oftentimes lived in seclusion so as to not corrupt their gift and pollute their heart chakra's ability to transmit important information. The force of Venus gives humanity the ability to connect to Source on as deep a level as the person is willing to do the necessary spiritual work with their heart chakra. And you don't have to be an astrologer, a psychic, a priestess, or a prophet to receive information via your heart chakra from divine source, what we call simple intuition, and shows us whether or not we are on the right path in life. And keep in mind, it's interesting to consider that the heart is where many traditions say where the soul resides. Not in our third eye or not in our crown chakra, but our divine soul is within our heart. So when we're receiving and transmitting information via the world around us and through divine energy, it's transferring directly into our soul energy through our heart chakra.